Well, good morning to everyone. It's Super Sunday. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're having a fantastic day whenever you listen to this or watch it. Remember, I don't have a podcast, so if you're driving around and you want to hear a message, just play it. You don't have to watch. I'm not the best person to look at it. Just listen. Of course, my voice is kind of rough sometimes, but that's okay. I want to share something. I had a conversation last night when I was walking around my neighborhood with a young lady. Shout out to you, Peyton. Yeah, it's great talking to you. It's great to meet minds similar to mine. Of course, you're very different. But maybe I can help stick a little spark in your mind, stimulate some thoughts on how to invest and how to eat healthy. You're already eating healthy. And I know you got some knowledge on investing, but hopefully I can share some more knowledge. So anyway, whenever I talk to somebody, because I enjoy talking to somebody, it's part of being healthy. The more folks we can talk to, well, we're all different. A lot of you work jobs, so you talk to your coworkers. But the more people we talk to, it's that social connection. It helps our health. Okay, it just helps us to be healthy. Okay, so with that being said, before I go much farther, I am Mazske Finance, still coming to you from South Florida. But I just have this sneaky feeling my life's going to change real quick in a good way, because I think I'm going to be headed south to a foreign country. So anyway, with that being said, I'm Mazske Finance. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. But I am sitting here drinking I got my Dollywood cup. It's that roller coaster. I used to love riding roller coasters. Drinking my first cup of green tea for the day. Had my cup of hack coffee, as I call it. But I'm going to talk about today a couple different things. Hopefully it won't get too long. I'm going to talk a little bit about when you're a beginning investor. Let's just say you have a little bit of money. A question was posed to me, I think it was on WhatsApp last night, my mastermind group. Someone asked me or said something like, what am I going to do if I speak to someone and I ask the question, do you have $15,000 or $20,000 to invest? What am I going to do when they answer me yes? How would I guide them? Okay. Along those same lines, what if someone has more than $15,000 or $20,000? What if for some reason they have, let's just throw out a magical number, an even $100,000, and they have no investments in real estate? It poses a question. What do you do? You could buy in the Midwest, perhaps, one house. You could pay cash for it. If you pay cash, you have no worries. You have no stress about paying the mortgage. Yes, you got to pay taxes. Yes, you got to pay insurance, but you don't have to worry about paying the mortgage. If your tenant stops paying you, it's a safety net, right? However, if you dig around on any website, any YouTube channel, real estate investors, they'll all say the same thing, almost all of them. Leverage, baby, leverage, leverage, leverage. It's kind of like the Bush was when he was president. Drill, baby, drill. Leverage, baby, leverage. I'm just joking around here. Okay, what do I mean by leverage? It's using other people's money. OPM for short, other people's money. How do you use other people's money in real estate investing? There are many ways to do it. Okay, I'm just going to talk about one here real quick. It's the bank. You can utilize a bank, a lender, other people's money. Why do I say that? Let's say you have that mythical $100,000. Let's say you're buying a house that the price of it is, let me do some mental math. Let's say it's $80,000. Okay, let's just say $80,000. And you got to put 20% down because you're an investor. 20% of $80,000 is $16,000. That's what my mental math was. What's 20% of $80,000? So anyway, so $16,000. And then you have closing costs with your lender. Let's just say for easy math, it's $4,000. Okay, so you got $16,000 plus $4,000 is $20,000. So if you have, say, roughly, and this is just ballparking it, and ballparking the price of the house and everything. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor at all. So if you have roughly 20 grand and you use a bank, you could buy one house and get a mortgage on it. What does that do? That means you're spending $20,000 to buy this house. So when you calculate your yield, your cash on cash return, you have $20,000 invested. Maybe you have to spend a little bit of money to clean it up or fix it up. So maybe let's just say you have $25,000 invested. You have $25,000 invested. So when you calculate how much positive cash flow do you have, what's your yield, maybe it comes in, I didn't run this number, okay, I'm just guessing here. Maybe it comes in at 12%, 14%, 16% annualized. Okay? Okay, that's okay. And let's just say it's positive cash flow between $250 and $300. Okay, that's fine. But let's say you compare that with another person. They have the same $100,000 and they're like, I'm going to be smart, I'm going to be safe, I'm going to pay cash for this house. It's $80,000. I'll pay cash. I will then pay closing cost. I got some make-ready cost. So maybe all in, I'm pushing 90,000, 88, 89, 90,000 by the time I pay closing cost and the little repairs. Say it's $5,000 again. That'd be like $89,000. So you got $11,000 left over. So now they said, Mazske, we've heard you talk about having your reserves, your cash reserves in case something goes wrong in the house. So I got $11,000 in the bank. Okay, that's good. That's fine. That's being safe. But when they calculate their yield, let's just say they're positive cash flow, because you still got to pay taxes, you still got to pay insurance, you still got to pay your property management. But now you've invested pushing $90,000. Maybe your positive cash flow is $500, $600. But when you calculate that yield, I guarantee you it's not going to be 12, 14, 16%. It might be 6, 7, or 8%. It's a lower cash and cash return. And if you pay cash for it, you now get the appreciation of one house. Your tenant is paying the mortgage, or now you got, don't have a mortgage. You're getting the appreciation of one house, which historically is around 3% a year. Okay? But let's compare that to the person who put, say, 20-ish thousand, or whatever I said, 25,000, to buy one house. And let's say they wait a little bit. They want to see how this game of real estate works out. While we wait just a little bit, I'm going to show you something real quick. Show and tell time. Tea. What kind of green tea am I drinking? I'll show you the bag. I have you see the bag. It's about a 1 pound bag. It's 1 pound of tea. And you figure tea doesn't weigh a lot, so when I buy it, it's bulky, like it's stuffed full. See, I don't know if you can read that on there or not. It's Harney and Sons Fine Teas. Their website is www.harney.com. I don't know if you can read the type of tea. There it is, right there. It's decaf sencha. Okay, decaf sencha. That's the kind of tea I have here. I did just last night order some powder tea, some ground tea. Maybe it's not powder tea, it's ground tea. It's not decaf, but I think it's green sencha tea again, but it's very fine. I've had it before. It's delicious. You put a 1/4 teaspoon in your cup and put hot water over it, and now you're consuming the leaf that's been ground up. This is loose tea that was in here, and I take it out. It's in a little filter cup. I take it out. So I'm not consuming those leaves, but I'm consuming the tea drink. Okay, but anyway, I digress. So we're going back to that person that has, say, that $20,000, $25,000. They buy one house. They sit back, they drink their cup of green tea, and after 3, 4, 5, 6 months, they realize, I like this game of real estate. I'm gonna buy a second house. I'm gonna buy a third house. And they buy 2 houses, they buy 3 houses. Maybe they buy a 4th house because they've saved up a little bit more money by then. Maybe let's just say for easy math, they buy 4 houses. Say it's that same $100,000 plus or minus, okay? And let's say they're saving up money from the rent and from their job, so they're building up their cash reserves over the course of this year, okay? So now they buy, at the end of 1 year, let's just easy math, end of 1 year they have 4 houses. The other person has 1 house. Now the person that has 4 houses is getting that 3% appreciation on 4 houses, okay? They're having their 4 tenants, pay down the mortgage on 4 houses. So they have mortgage pay down occurring not on 1 house, but on 4 houses. And if they're getting $250 to $300 of positive cash flow, and the paid off person, maybe they're getting $500, $600, say they're getting $250, $300 times 4 is $1,000 to $1,200, somewhere in that range, $1,000, $1,200. But then annually, maybe you increase the rent. Paid off house, 1 rent gets increased. Maybe it goes up $50, 1 rent. This person has 4 houses, rent goes up $50. That's $200 now, right? Times 4. So if you leverage, it's more bang for your buck, as I say, right? More bang for your buck. Now let's compare and contrast this with somebody like myself. I've been buying real estate for 5 years now, okay? I've shared my story. I got that playlist, 0 to 25 rentals in 4 years. And I've shared exactly how I bought all 25. Now I have about, I think it's 22 houses I have right now, okay? But I did buy, along that journey, I bought 9 houses with seller financing. I now have 7 of them. I still own all 9. One I refinanced with the bank, cashback refinance. Another one I paid off completely. Okay, so I have 7 left that are seller financed. Now with that gentleman, you may remember I've shared this before, I came up with a creative way of financing for seller financing. He wanted 15-year mortgages. I did not want a 15-year mortgage because I wanted that positive cash flow from a 30-year mortgage so I could retire and be financially independent, move to Florida. If it was a 15-year mortgage, you have less cash flow, less positive cash flow. Okay, so what I proposed to him after I thought about it and brainstormed a little bit, I came up with, what if I have 30-year amortization, but I have a 15-year balloon, meaning at the end of 15 years, whatever balance I have of the mortgage is due, 100% due right then and there. But there's no prepayment penalty if I want to pay it off, if I want to refinance with the bank, anytime in those 15 years, I can do that, okay? And the interest rate was 4.9%, which when I bought these houses, that seemed a little bit high. Now it seems a little bit low, right? That's the beauty of interest sometimes. You get something locked in. Maybe you get locked in right now at a 7% rate, and maybe in 5 years, rates are 12%, or maybe they're 3%. If they're 3% in whatever in the future, you can refinance to a cheaper rate. If they're 12%, you can be saying, yeah, I'm so happy I got a 7% rate, right? So with somebody in my situation, here comes the question. When do you pay off your houses? That you will hear other real estate investors say, never pay them off. You want to keep the depreciation for 30 years. You want to keep that interest write-off for 30 years on your taxes. Never pay them off. Refinance them at 28 years so you can start it over again. Well, that's fine. You can do that. But you got to be able to sleep at night too. And there's such a thing as always having risk where at some time in your life, if you're financially independent, you don't want to lose it, right? So wouldn't you, for the safety factor, the comfort factor, maybe you should consider paying them off. Now you can start paying houses off at any time on your journey. You may have that $100,000 and buy a house right now and it's paid off. There's another guy, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name. He's a retired lieutenant colonel from the Army or Air Force, retired military. He started buying houses in Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, one of those two cities, when he was active duty. He was stationed there. And over the course of his 20-year career, he bought 20 houses. He paid cash for all 20 houses. So about the time he retired, he had his military pension, he owned 20 houses free and clear, no mortgage, okay? Meaning, say he's cash flowing that positive $500 per house, times 10, it's 5,000 times 20, $10,000 a month. Okay, that's good money, right? But then he did not realize, because we didn't have YouTube all that time, or he didn't study the stuff, but he never used debt. He's now retired, and I believe he's used debt to buy an apartment building, okay? Because you use a mortgage, other people's money, because he better understands the power of leverage, but at the same time, he has his paid off houses, the comfort. So in my situation, I still have 7 houses left. I have about 12 to 13 years left, so I got time. So during that time period, maybe I'll pay all 7 off. Maybe I'll pay 5 of them off and refinance 2 of them. Maybe I'll pay 5 off and sell 2 of them. But along your journey, you can make that decision yourself when you want to pay off houses. Maybe you get to the 4 houses. And Michael Zuber is famous for saying, if you just get to 4 houses can change your life. How? Say you're young, say you're in your 20s or your 30ish, and you get 4 houses, 30-year mortgages. Maybe for those next 30 years, you never pay extra, you never pay them off. And 30 years in the future, you're pushing 60, time to retire. And now, no matter what kind of retirement you may have, you have 4 houses, free and clear, paid off. That'll definitely make your life a little bit better, no matter what situation you're in. Let's say you don't stop at 4. You get to 5, you get to 10. Say at 10, maybe at 10 houses, you're cash flowing, let's just say it's $300 a house, and now you're getting $3,000 a month. But probably you're getting more than that by now, because by the time you get to 10, you got rent increases, et cetera, et cetera. So, but it's just easy math, $3,000 a month, which is what, $36,000 a year, okay? Maybe you want to take a little break. Maybe you've gotten 10 mortgages, and under federal law, you're topped out of 10 mortgages. And you know you can do creative financing, other people's money, hard money, a non-QM lender. There's different options to keep on growing. But let's say you just you're in your early 30s. You started in your mid to late 20s. Now you're in your early 30s. You got 10 houses. Maybe you want to just breathe a little bit. Take a little break. Take a little sabbatical. Be like Chad Carson. Go down to Ecuador for 17 months, or go to Spain for 2 years, or do like Mazske and go down to Panama for a couple years, if you can afford to. Take a little break. But maybe then, maybe you got the snowball plan, which maybe you take all, if you're still working a job, maybe you take all the positive cash flow from all 10 houses when you get them all, and you put all that positive cash flow, as long as you keep your cash reserves, towards paying off one mortgage. And then when you pay that mortgage off, you take all that cash flow, put it with the other 9 houses, and pay off a second one. And maybe you get 2 or 3 houses paid off, and then you're like, well, by golly, I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to get 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 houses. There's no one saying that you got to get 100 houses or 200 houses or 500 houses. There's no one saying that. Why? I mean, if you want to, go for it. I mean, it's fine. If you want to, go for it. But I'm lazy. And the more houses you get, it's work. Even if you got a property manager, if you get 200 units, you're going to be working a little bit more than if you had 25 units. If I have 22 houses and 2 of them are in self-directed IRAs, that's a topic for another day. What's the self-directed IRA? I'll talk about that another day. I have 2 houses inside self-directed IRAs for me and the missus. So let's say I got 20 houses. If I paid off all 20 of my houses, my cash flow is much better than I have now. And some of my houses that I have mortgages on, I'm cash flowing $500. I don't know if I'm cash flowing $600 on any of them, but I'm cash flowing $500 on 1 or 2, $400 on a couple, $300 and some dollars. So as I pay them off, I'm cash flowing even better. And now I got a safety net. I own more free and clear. Okay. So personally, I'm financially independent how I am right now. So as I pay off another house, I'm working towards paying another house off. As I pay it off, my cash flow increases. I take that increased cash flow, maybe, put it towards paying off another house, and so on and so on and so on. So you compare that with someone who's just starting, and they got that $100,000. Do they buy 1 house, or do they buy 4? My vote, and it's just one person's vote, my vote is buy 4. 4 houses, 4 houses appreciating, 4 tenants, paying down the mortgage on 4 houses. 4 times positive cash flow versus 1 positive cash flow. Excuse me, that's what I would do. But we're all different. The beauty of being a human being, we have freedom of choice. We're all different people. We all come from all different walks of life. We have different upbringings. We live in different parts of the country or the world. We all have our own minds to make our own decisions. All right. So as I've told a lot of people, I've said before on my YouTube channel, you take the information I give out to you, churn it up in your own mind, see what thoughts you come up with in regards to what I say. Maybe watch another channel. Maybe watch Millennial Mike. Maybe watch Coach Carson. I like Coach Carson. Chad, he's going to appear on my channel sometime. He's financially independent. Chad's the one. He planted the seed in my mind. He took a sabbatical back in 2017 and went to Ecuador for 17 months with his wife and two daughters. And then he came back after 17 months. His girls went to school in Ecuador. They spoke Spanish. In the school, it was taught in Spanish. And he just got back again from a second trip. He's been in the country of Spain, I believe, for 2 years this time. So time flies. He spent 2 years in Spain. He's back now. He's back in Clemson, South Carolina. And he's told me he's catching back up because he's been gone for 2 years. But give him a few weeks and he'll appear on my channel. All right. So, and I haven't talked to it wasn't my mastermind group, but I haven't talked to a group of us before we informally formed our mastermind group. So he talked to us. He gave us a little lesson. I suggested a lesson of how to get started in real estate investing. And he's a great teacher. That's why he's called Coach. He went to, I think, Clemson University and played. He was linebacker on the football team. All right. He's in his late 30s right now. And he's financially independent. All right. And he's been financially independent for quite a while. What does financial independence mean? I'll wrap this up. It doesn't mean you have to stop working. Maybe you love working. Maybe, though, what it does is you can branch out and start your own business because now you can provide your own funding for it. And if it fails, well, you still got your rental property. or maybe you volunteer somewhere. Maybe you just decide to give back to your community in some fashion. Again, we're all different. We all have different journeys we're on, but all of us can impact each other in some way. If I can motivate you to drink a cup of green tea, if I can motivate you to buy a rental house, if I can motivate you to buy dividend paying stocks, it's a topic for another video, right? Dividend paying stocks. So self-directed IRAs and dividend paying stocks. If I can motivate you to use your 401k to take a 401k loan out to buy a house, if I can encourage you just to start about investing, it will change your life in a positive way. And I'm of the thought process that the more of us that do it, we can make a better world to live in. The better we do that, we can start to relax a little bit and educate ourselves. Get away from the drama of the world and the negativity of the world and just better educate ourselves on the topics that we are concerned about. I like eating healthy. I try to impart my, I'll just say wisdom, in quotes, wisdom. It's kind of funny. I try to impart my wisdom on this channel. Some of you may like it, some of you don't. Green tea, berries, nuts, mushrooms, kiwi. Eat a little healthier. Take a walk around your neighborhood. Take a walk on the treadmill. Go swimming if you got access to a pool. Do push-ups, do crunches, do body weight squats if you don't have access to anything. If you got access to a gym, go pump a little iron, as they say. Do a few curls, bench presses, shoulder presses. Do a little squats. But if you do squats, wear a belt. Protect that back. Protect your knees. Okay? There was a bodybuilder just killed recently. He was squatting and he fell forward, I think, and was killed by the heavy, squatting like a lot of weight. So be careful out there. It's a dangerous world we live in. Stay safe in all you do. All right, so with that being said, Peyton again, great talking to you last night. Hopefully you don't mind my shout out. And hopefully, as I think I told you last night, I can help you become a millionaire. Just like hopefully all of you watching this, all real estate investors, I will almost guarantee if you start investing in real estate, you will become a millionaire faster than you might think. All right, I'm positive proof of that. So with that being said, there's my little Navy guy I painted many years ago. So he's always standing up there, watching over my shoulder. So with that being said, have a great day. Mazke signing out.